The Unforgiving Treachery of E. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rucha Kodash. The name of this one is The Unforgiving Treachery of E. And this is pretty much based off of a video, actually a trailer that was sent to me earlier this morning by the priest Zabak from the New York camp. I'm sorry, not priest Zabak, Salakia. I got priest Zabak on the brain for some reason. The priest Zakar from the New York camp. And pretty much this title, part of it came to me earlier, then part of it just came to me just now. So wanted to go into it. The word unforgiving is not willing to forgive or excuse people's faults or wrongdoings of conditions harsh and hostile. And once we go into this trailer, I'm not going to show you the trailer, obviously you get a copyright, but you'll be able to watch it. I put it in the description box if you want to just put the video on pause and go watch it real quick, and then come back to this video, then feel free to do so. Excuse me. But once you see it, you'll understand. And the next word is treachery, betrayal of trust, deceptive action or nature. And we're going with, because they also betrayed trust. That's why I said his words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. But also they are deceptive in their actions or nature, because that's the devil for you. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Now, what the trailer I'm talking about is a movie called Killers of the Flower Moon. And this is a Martin Scorsese score, or Martin Scorsese flick, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and others. And Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro played the part of the two devils, two Edomites, that set up these Gadites at Osage, or in Osage County, Oklahoma, to be murdered. Because what happened, just to give you a brief on it, you had this reservation that was given to Gad, because Esau thought that it was pretty much nothing going on there. It was worthless land. So they gave it to Gad, and Gad wanted the rights to any resource that they found. Not that they thought they were going to find anything, but to any resource that they found, they wanted all the rights to it and all the money that came with it. So when that was granted to them, what happened was they actually found that there was oil on that land, and Gad actually became rich on that land. They were doing well off. They were doing good. But like anything else with Esau, he plotted against them, murdered certain ones of them, and pretty much got, were trying to get the deeds to this land again. And pretty much the way that Gad can get their money had to be with the oversight of an Edomite, so Esau is always in everything. Now, what I found interesting is I was reading about this, about the history on this. I was, like, a thought came into my mind as to, before I show you this, as to where exactly Osage was, Osage County. And then when I found out that it was in Oklahoma, my next, thought was, how far was Osage County from Tulsa, Oklahoma? And if you remember Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's where you had the so-called Black Wall Street. And this is around the same time period, in the 1920s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And when I went to the Google, I typed in how far is Osage from Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And it says 5 minutes, 1.5 miles via South Boulder Street, which has to be this one coming across, and John Hope Franklin Boulevard, which has to be this one here. You have here Osage Prairie. Down here you have Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they were both thriving Israelite communities. One Northern Kingdom, one Southern Kingdom. And they were both, plotted against. This one was totally burnt to the ground. I'm not sure of everything that happened concerning the Osage Prairie, the Osage County in this res, we had to do a little more research to find out exactly what happened. But that just goes to show you how this devil operates, and it goes to show you that the curses are real. Let me just pull this up real quick, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna show you the trailer, but I'm gonna show you, right here. This is the trailer, Killers of the Flower Moon, official teaser trailer, and they show you, you watch this, and when you watch it, it's like, damn, these devils are treacherous, and look at this, the comments are turned off for this, and I wonder why, but that just goes to show you how these devils, how they do, how they do. All right, so let me read this real quick. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So no matter where you went, you jump down to the 44th and 45th verse, it tells you that no matter where we went, the Lord would bring these curses upon us, and these curses will be upon us for a sign to us and to our children that we are the Israelites. Very good precept, Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And that's heavy because they were only within 5 minutes of each other. The Osage County situation that took place, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right, which they call Black Wall Street. So, when you get a chance, just watch that. So it says, cursed shalt thou be what? In the city. Was this not a city? Was that not a city? Were these not cities? Cursed. Were we not cursed? Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. The field represents the world. So no matter where in the world we went, we would be cursed. And that's a sure sign of who the Israelites are. Now, I got a little info here. This is from biography.com. It says the real people Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro portray in Killers of the Flower Moon. It says the upcoming Martin Scorsese film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival to rave reviews. This was dated July 5th, 2023, which was yesterday. This is something that was written by Colin McAvoy. And you see Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. Celebrated filmmaker Martin Scorsese is partnering once again with his frequent collaborators Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro on his new film Killers of the Flower Moon, a crime drama about a series of murders in the Osage Nation reservation in Oklahoma during the 1920s. You see? Can you see? Salakia. And check this out. During the 1920s, right? Now, when did the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma happen with Black Wall Street? May 31st, 1921. Around the same time, in the same, only like 5 minutes from each other. You can't tell me that ain't spiritual just within itself. All right? It says, like many of Scorsese's most acclaimed films, including Raging Bull 1980, Goodfellas 1990, The Aviator 2004, and The Wolf of Wall Street 2013, his latest movie is based on a true story, Killers of the Flower Moon, which will be released in theaters on October 20, is adapted from a non-fiction book of the same name by David Gran. The film received rave reviews at the Cannes Film Festival, where it premiered and is already generating blah, 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 blah. It says, here's a true story of the Osage murders, a vast and complex plot in which conspirators lied, killed, and even married into families to steal the rights to oil on the Oklahoma land. The conspiracy was so nefarious that it led to one of the first murder investigations by what is today known as the FBI. A conspiracy for oil money. The Osage Nation, a Native American tribe of the Great Plains, were driven from their Kansas land in the late 19th century and relocated to a rocky, barren reservation in northeastern Oklahoma. This just shows you how this devil is. He takes your land, then he puts you on what he perceives to be the worst part of the land. Goddamn devils, boy. The fucking nerve of you devils, man. But then you think you're not going to fucking pay? You think you're not going to pay? The land was, that's where the Lord said he will not at all acquit the wicked. You motherfuckers are going to get fucked up. That's all I can say. The land was considered worthless until the 1890s when some of the largest oil deposits in the United States at the time were discovered there. By the 1920s, the Osage people collectively received more than $400 million in today's dollars, making them the wealthiest people per capita in the world. They built terracotta mansions, had chauffeured cars, hired servants, and sent their children to private schools. Doesn't this sound familiar? Just like the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. This is the devil right here. I believe this is the devil. Well, he's the one that one of the ones that plotted the murders, but he's the one, I think this is the one that Leonardo DiCaprio played. A 1926 photo of William Hale Center, who was the mastermind behind the plot to murder Osage people for the oil rights on their land. Never trust thine enemies. You could see this devil is the devil. You could see he's a treacherous. Look at them beady eyes. You could just tell by the beady eyes that this devil ain't no goddamn good. However, a group of businessmen launched a conspiracy to steal the oil right out from under the Osage people using illegal means and even murder where necessary. This scheme was led by William Hale, played by De Niro in the film. Salaki, he was played by De Niro. I thought it was the other way around. Who built a ranch on the Osage reservation and became rich raising cattle there, becoming known as the King of Osage Hills. Rights to the oil revenue could only be legally obtained by outsiders if they married into the tribe. And you know how gullible Gad is, especially the women. In these times anyway, because back in the days, the women were more, more vigilant. Let's see. So Hale encouraged his nephew, Ernest Buckart, this is the one that played by DiCaprio, to marry Molly Kyle, portrayed by Lily Gladstone, an Osage woman living with her mother, Lizzie Q, in Fairfax, Oklahoma, according to Grant's book. A series of mysterious deaths. One by one, members of the family turned up dead. Oh, I wonder why. And they were being killed in the same fashion. Kyle's sister, Anna Brown, was found shot to death in May 1921. Same time, same month, when the Oklahoma massacre happened, at Black Wall Street. I kept wanting to say Wounded Knee for some reason. And 2 months later, Lizzie Q died of a suspected poisoning. According to Dennis McAuliffe's book, Bloodland, A Family Story of Oil, Greed, and Murder on the Osage Reservation in March 1923. Another of Lizzie's daughters died along with her husband when their home was destroyed by an explosion. And these murders they were about 10 years, from around 1921 to 1931, or something along those lines. Buckart and Kyle saw their fortunes grow as they inherited the estates of these family members. See, they murdered for money. Lizzie's nephew, Harry Rohn, also died in 1923, and Hale fraudulently named himself the beneficiary of Rohn's $25,000 life insurance policy, according to Grant's book. Meanwhile, other Osage people from outside the family were also dying under mysterious or suspicious circumstances. They were offering them so that they can get the rights to that oil. The Osage killings became one of the first murder investigations launched by the FBI, which was then called the Bureau of Intelligence. Tom White, portrayed by Jesse Plemons, led the investigation, which involved agents going undercover as insurance salesmen, cattle buyers, and citizens to gather evidence. A conspiracy revealed. Hale quickly fell under suspicion, and although some members of local law enforcement attempted to derail the federal investigation because they were all working together, the local law enforcement and these devils. Hale and Buckard were arrested in 1926 for their part in the conspiracy, according to McAuliffe's book. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm going to read these real quick. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they what? Covet fields, meaning that they wanted these fields and they desired these fields and they murdered for these fields. You know? So dig it. It says, so they oppress a man, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right? Oh, wow. Wow. The Water Brothers for posting precepts. 2 Ezra 15:53. If thou hadst not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over their dead when thou wast drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Yeah, because even though they were convicted and they went to prison, they were let out after a certain period of time. So they really didn't fully pay. They were supposed to be in there for life, and they were not. They were let go after a certain period of time. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and deliver thee into mischief. Beautiful. Yep. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Baruch 4, and matter of fact, before I read that one, let me finish this up here. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of. In other words, you got to watch that devil over there. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Why? Because you got your eye on that devil, and eventually the devil is going to slip up. He's going to do something to let you know that he's the devil. Because that's how these devils are built. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, that's why they married into the family, right? He stand up in thy place. And that's exactly what they did. You know, they married into the family, and when these people were mysteriously coming up dead, they, assumed, the leadership position to take over these lands to get the money. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, in other words, to be like an heir, to be a confidant, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. That's right. Why? Because you're going to be like, damn, I should have never trusted this bastard. Baruch 4:25, my children suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High. Why? Because this is a chastening from the Lord. See, this is what Gad doesn't understand. And the other tribes don't understand. This is a chastening from the Lord, from the Most High. And no matter how far you would get up, you would never really be successful, because there would be something to knock you down. And it would be the devil, these devils, and also the curses, which the devil is a part of those curses. Because he brings it upon Jake. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. Because eventually these devils are going to be put under our feet, and we're going to get revenge. The scriptures don't say that in vain. I'm going to get this real quick since it came to mind, but I want to go back to the article, and I want to read this other precept I got. It says, conspiracy revealed. Hale quickly fell under suspicion, and although some members of a local law enforcement attempted to derail the federal investigation, Hale and Buckard were arrested in 1926 for their part in the conspiracy, according to McAuliffe's book. Another conspirator named Kelsey Morrison was also arrested after he admitted to murdering Anna Brown, according to Grant's book. It is estimated at least 24 Osage people were killed as a result of Hale's conspiracy. Hale, Burkhart, and another conspirator named John Ramsey were all convicted and sentenced to life in the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. Prior to his conviction, Burkhart told the authorities he feared Hale would have him bumped off. It showed you the devil always passing the buck. What happened when the Lord came to, he came to Adam, the woman. He came to the woman, the serpent, Everybody's always passing the buck, but especially these devils. What these devils going to do when the Lord come to inquire of them as to what they've done? What's that scripture in, they inquire them that have hurt, the earth or something like that? If you brothers know what I'm talking about, it's in the Apocrypha, I believe it's in Ecclesiasticus. I will inquire of them, or it might be in Second Ezra's, who that have hurt, what they're hurt for, something like that. I can't think of the actual word. And if a brother know what I'm speaking about, Babakushai, if you can grab that. So he basically saying, look, if I wouldn't have done this, he would have had me bumped off. Fucking devils, boy. According to Grant, Morrison, already in prison for an unrelated crime, also received a life sentence. Burkhart was set free after receiving a pardon by Oklahoma Governor Henry Belmont in 1965. So this devil was in prison for life for the murder. He was convicted, but then did what? Receive a pardon. This is why the Most High said, let's go. Matter of fact, let me get this precept. And then let me go here, Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. What does it mean to spoil? Means to rob. Woo! You brothers, the water. You brothers. 2 Ezra 6:19. And will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. The water to you, brothers. The water, the water, the water. Verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see altogether. And this is how they are being convicted. They are being convicted by the words of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, on the net, on the internet, the same internet that the Lord gave them the knowledge to create, to build, to make. Do you see? And now what's happening is these devils are being exposed because they're going through what is called the sentencing stage. After the sentencing stage is done and set, afterward comes the judgment. And this is why the Lord said, whom the Lord shall reveal with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. When he is about to eat, the Lord shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Wow. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. So when you stop robbing the world, especially the children of Israel, then you will be robbed. Because all of those riches that you robbed the world from and you have in your possession are going to be turned right over to us. How about that? How do you like them apples? You like apples? How do you like them apples? And dealers treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Right, because no one has dealt treacherously with you. Every nation, including Israel, has the real Israelites. I'm talking about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. I ain't talking about the frauds. Every nation has always tried to work with you, to try to come to some middle ground, some type of agreement, to be able to work with you, But your demonic greed and your demonic treachery won't allow you to do that. You'll smile on their face, but behind their back, you're ready to stab them. And you know exactly how you're going to do it. And you've gotten away with it, but the time is going to come where you're not going to get away with it. You're going to be judged by the power on high, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And you will not escape. Not by a long shot. You will be judged, every last one of you. Reincarnation is real. You are your forefathers in the past, coming back now in these times to be judged for the crimes you committed as your forefathers. The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So it says, let's look up this word treacherously. The word there is bagad. To act treacherously, deceitfully, deal treacherously. Did not we just say that? Did not we just read that? Treachery, betrayal of trust, deceptive action of nature. So when you're this deceptive action of nature that you've pushed, you've finished doing it because you got to where a place where you're comfortable and you set your nest on high. You set your nest on high, as in the book of Habakkuk 2. Then treachery is going to come upon thee, and you will be dealt with severely, And I hate to use that term because somebody else used to use it, but it's the truth. It says, and deal as treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee, right? Because no one is dealt that way with you. You are the one. You are the problem. With thee, when thou shalt cease to spoil, meaning when you stop robbing, thou shalt be spoiled. So you're going to be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, because you will pay everything down to the last farthing. You will pay everything. You will not get away. Your treachery will not go unpunished. Goddamn devils. You will get every last bit of what you deserve. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every last one of them. Every one of them shall go into captivity. What is captivity? Slavery. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Because what you don't understand is that you put your hands on the people of the Most High, the Israelites, the true Israelites. These same so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians who you call niggas, spics, and tantos, those same individuals that you call these names and had in such a low condition, these are the children of the Most High. We are the children of the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And you will you will be dealt with for all the shit that you've done. For I will restore health unto thee, meaning unto the Israelites, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, right? Because the whole head is sick, putrefying sores and bruises. That's all of these curses that are upon us. The dogs licking our wounds. The rich man, looking down on us, taking everything that we have, all this treachery going on. You will be dealt with. It says, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because they called thee an outcast. Right, because we ceased from being a nation. And that's exactly what their plans were. Psalms, the 83rd chapter. They actually had goals to remove us from that. But what they don't, unbeknownst to them, that's exactly the plans that the Most High had. That's why I said after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, because we would be in a dead state for a period of time. But then the Lord will revive us. This is why he put the spirit on certain men like Elder Abba Bivens to teach the word, to wake up and to wake the Israelites up. This was not done by man's intervention. This was done by divine intervention, because this work this work that we're doing is not of men. This work is of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and it will prevail. It says, saying, this is Zion whom no man seeketh after, right? Because we're not even recognized among the nations. As it says in the book of Numbers, the 23rd chapter, we're not even recognized among the nations. We don't even, they don't even give a second thought about us, because they don't care about us. Inside joke. We look up this word outcast, the word there is nadach. which means to impel, thrust, drive away, banish. Right. So we've been banished. We've been exiled. And not only exiled from our land, pretty much we've been stripped of everything. Our nationality, our language, everything. So much so that you try to tell Jake that they're an Israelite now, in certain cases, they want to fight you. Because they can't fathom them being, anything else but a ninja. No, I'm black. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. So this, land that they coveted, the killers of the flower moon, they brought woe upon themselves. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. For what purpose? That he may set his nest on high, so that they can be well off and not have to worry about ever, having to, their family members and their, descendants and all of that, the ones that come later in the future have to worry about anything. Always be well off. It says that he may be delivered from the power of evil, right? Because money answereth all things. Money is a defense. The lack of money, a lot of times, when you in need, you're always behind the 8 ball, as they say. Yep, you're right. Yep, Philip Emeagwali. Yep, invented the internet. But the white man stole the credit. Yeah. Yep. We know about that. I'm not sure if he was Nigerian. But he actually invented it. He pretty much got the idea or the concept from honeycombs. All the different interconnections and the intricacies of the honeycomb. Said that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, right? And that's a shameful thing. Just because you don't get paid for it doesn't mean that you're not going to have to pay for it eventually. Like it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore it is set in the heart of the sons of men to do evil, to do wickedness, and has sinned against thy soul. And you know that there's no redemption for somebody's soul once they sold their soul. So you sinned against your soul because the spirit, go back up to the 4th verse. But his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him. You are a proud man, and this pride of yours has led you to fall, to falter, to stumble. And you never considered your latter end. Now, I just watched, last couple of days I've been watching the Conor McGregor Forever, on Netflix. It was, like a documentary on his rise and fall, and everything that was taking place. Pretty interesting. But one thing I noticed, he was getting busy. He was taking people down. But once he started he was so proud, which we believe is a Jake. I believe he's a Jake, he was so proud that he was talking about taking his opponents down. He said, even beating the Most High. And after that, he never, he just kept falling and falling and falling. He'd come back a little bit, but he kept falling and falling and falling. His body started breaking down. His legs started, everything, because he made that proud statement. And I don't know if he ever recanted that statement, but that's the reason why he lost. That's the reason why, the Most High plagued him, pretty much. Just to use as an example. But these devils are proud. The white man is a physical manifestation of he's an Edomite. I don't know if they went up there and told you he's an Edomite. He's the devil. Yes. They are the sons and the daughters of Satan. Correct. That is well known, my friend. Tell us something we don't know. It says, and hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Nahum 1:3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. What does it mean to acquit? It means to give clemency, to clear, to clear of the guilt. You will not be cleared. You will pay. Let's go to Jeremiah 49. But before we go there, let me get that. Let's get that precept. I'm sorry, not the precept. The word for acquit. The word is nakwa. To be empty, be clear, be pure. See, be free, be innocent. So you're not going to be innocent. You're not going to be held innocent. You know, you're going to pay for everything that you've done. Every last bit of it. You're going to be gulping it every day, you know, except for the Sabbath. And you're gonna, like our elder pastor always says, you're gonna honor the Sabbath more than anybody else. Let's go to Jeremiah 49:7. This is just to show you who this is speaking about concerning Edom. What does Edom mean? Edom is a Hebrew word, adawam, which means red. Edom is the name of the so-called white people today. Their forefather was Esau, Ishar or Ishashua, which means wasted away is he. And Edom is the name of the nation, the Edomites, Adawam, the red people, the real red people. Because the so-called Native American Indians are not red. The reason why they call them the red men was because of the paint, the war paint that they will put on them, the different paints that they will put on them. But if you look at them, they're really brown-skinned people. They are not red. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts. So I just wanted to make the point that this is prophecy right here, prophecy against Edom. Now let's jump down to the 12th verse. For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, the heavenly Father, saying this, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. So whose judgment was not to drink of the cup? The Israelites. Why is that? Because we are royalty. We are a royal people. But because we transgress against the Lord, that's why we drank of the cup. And it goes a lot deeper than that. See, the problem is, Jake don't understand. Really, we were made to go off because the Heavenly Father has a purpose. Man's goings are of the Lord. But the same way that he subjected us to vanity to go off is the same way that he subjected us unto hope. You see? And everything had to go down the way that it had to go down. There's nothing written that in happening that was not in the script of the Heavenly Father. It says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? So we weren't supposed to drink of the cup. We surely drunk of it. And you who are the devil, we are the Lord's peculiar treasure. We are the Lord's beloved. We are the Lord's, the apple of the Lord's eye. And we had to drink of the cup of slavery. You think you, being the hated, the one that the Most High don't like, that you're going to get away and not have to pay? You must be out your mother floating mind. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? This is why it says that the Lord, the Most High, will not acquit the wicked. They will acquit themselves. That's why you had this devil, governor, give this other devil, Burkhart, a pardon. And released him from prison in 1965. And he lived another 20 years or so, 21 years after that, a free man, when he was supposed to be in prison for life for these murders that he committed, that he set up. So it says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Meaning you're gonna gulp it and you're gonna drink every last bit of it, down to the last drop. And after you drink down to the last drop, your last stop is a fire pit. How about that? What a way to go out. Obadiah 1:15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, and the Lord is coming to visit them for the controversy of Zion. And as thou hast done, look at your history, look at what you've done to the children of Israel, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. You will be dealt with. Let me see. The brother said guilty means admission by a defendant that they have committed the crime they were charged with, or the finding by a judge or a jury that the defendant has committed the crime. Yeah. And the Lord is going to deal with you. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head, for as you have drunk upon my holy mountain. Because remember, it said that they have worn out the saints of the Most High. It said that the woman was drunk with the blood of the martyrs of the Most High, of the children of Israel. So you got a lot to pay for, man. And as the Spirit has me say from time to time, we only know what's on record of the murders you committed, the rapes and the atrocities you committed against our people. There are things that have been murders that have been committed, rapes that have been committed, and many other things that have been committed that no one knows about except for the Heavenly Father. All of that's going to come out. That's why it says that the earth shall no more disclose the blood. Everything, that you've done, even the stuff that's hidden, the murders and all that stuff you committed is all going to be brought out. You're going to be charged with every last one of those things. So your punishment is going to be out of this world. Beautiful. 2 Thessalonians 1:6 is a oldie but goodie. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. That's right. And it's righteous. Getting mad at us because we tell you the truth. We become your enemies because we tell you the truth. Y'all get mad at us. Oh, yeah, that's not of God. Vengeance belongs to the Lord. Yeah, but who is he going to use for the vengeance? Us. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually, because it's going to be 1,000 years of slavery. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall... Right, so they're going to drink it, and not only are they going to drink it, they're going to swallow it down. Because just like when you did it to us, there was nothing that we could do. There was no might in our hands. There was no man that can deliver us out of our situation. Same thing is going to be with you. You're not going to be delivered out of that situation. And they shall be as though they had not been. What does that mean? That means when you're a slave, you are a nobody. You're non-existent. Your opinion does not count. Your vote does not count. They don't look to the slave and ask them, we got a situation going on here. What's your suggestion? What do you suggest we should do? No, you're just there to work. You're just a workhorse, a mule. You have no status. That's how you nations are going to be in the kingdom of heaven. You will have no status. And after the 1,000 years, the nations are going to get back their land. They're going to do good. But you Edomites, you're going to be rounded up and burnt in that pit. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And every time you read the scriptures, it always talks about the house of the nation of Israel, the sons of Zion, being delivered, not the other nations. But the devil's going to keep doing what he does and keep pushing what he pushes, but that's all right, because that's how it's supposed to be. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire. That's dealing with, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And the house of Joseph, a flame. That's dealing with the Ephraim and the rest of the northern kingdom, because Joseph and Ephraim are synonymous with each other. So all of the tribes are going to come back together, and they're going to be the ones to set this fire. And who's going to be the kindling? And the house of Esau for stubble, because the house of Esau, all of the Edomites, the people upon whom the Lord has indignation, the people of the Lord's curse, are going to be the stubble. They're going to be the substance for the fire, and they shall kindle in them. So you're going to be the kindling wood, and what? Devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord have spoken it. So there's not going to be not one of you left. And the Judites are going to get your land. How do you like them apples? So on and so forth. All right. So let's read a little bit more of this. Burke Burkhart was set free after receiving a pardon by Oklahoma Governor Henry Belmont in 1965. He died in 1986 at age 94. And these devils, man, no matter how wicked they are, they seem to live for a long fucking time. Hale was paroled in 1947. That was his nephew, after serving 2 decades of his sentence. So he did all these murders, and he got off after, 20 years? And he died in 1962 at age 87. Old wicked-ass devils. Against all odds, Molly Kyle survived Hale and Burkhart's murderous conspiracy. The killers had started poisoning her, but she recovered and survived long enough to divorce Burkhart. Following his trial, she remarried, then died in 1937 at age 50. Look at that. The one that was being, all this shit was being done to, she died at 50. These devils, as wicked as they were, all these murders they were committing, they died at 94 and 87. This is why sometimes it seems unfucking fair. You know? Here it is, the Israelites are the most highest people, and then we getting effed up, but it has to be that way. Because we're the losers on this side, but we're going to win. And this is why when Jake gets, a hold of this information, they get mad. Because they don't understand the reasonings. That's why it says, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and rebuketh often. In addition to Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon will star Lily Gladstone, blah, 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 blah. So, you get the idea. This was a pretty decent read. I had read another one earlier. They, went into a whole bunch of other stuff. But, when you get a chance, watch the trailer. It's this is just a teaser trailer. I guess they're going to probably come out with another. Oh, the Osage murders, the true story behind. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got to watch that. Lord's will. And then, I put this in the description box, but you read the whole thing, but if you want to read it again, feel free. What else did I put in there? Just the 2 things, the trailer and this right here. You could do your own research. And what I also found interesting was that the Osage County and the area that this took place in was only 5 minutes away from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and it was happening around the same time, because the Wall Street being burned down happened in May 31st, 1921. The first murders happened in, 1921, May 31st, 1921, and the first murders of this, the Killers of the Flower Moon started in 1921. So I found that to be interesting, show you that the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom would be oppressed together. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.